Yes. Thank you so much for such a wonderful run through. I mean, it's a year-long, a decade-long concept which is quite popular worldwide. And you have encapsulated it and presented to us in a very short, crisp format. And I think that is something that is commendable because, as you know, all of us here are aware that it is a very, very wide, it is a very, very in-depth understanding in terms of the structure, in terms of the framework, in terms of its impact as well. But then you have presented it us in such a nice, simple format, and I think that is quite amazing. Definitely shows the command you have over this domain. And yes, so now we have some questions coming in for you. So we have Kavita Anand who's asking, how do the students deal with the disagreement?
With disagreement?
Yes.
First of all, they learn that disagreement is wonderful. Most of the time, how we are dealing with a huge agreement, this is complicated because most of the time it's very important to listen to the small voices that not agree because they bring something very important to the discussion. And I think something that it's very strong in democratic school that we are listening to the minorities. And we learn for a long term that the minorities bring a very, very important voice that take us forward. The majority cannot be creatively, they can be smart to do in what to do now, but to move forward you need to listen to the agreement and talk with these people, and it's very, very important.
So the question is that how do you think students work through these disagreements?
How the student, say it again?
How does the student work through these disagreements?
We have a parliament meeting, a place that we make the decision, and a lot of time it's changed how we make the decision. So the basic is 50%. If you have more than 50%, disagreement go out. But a lot of time when it's 52% of the people think like this and 48% think like this, we don't continue. And we do it discussion until, and we can make a decision that to make agreement we need more than 70% or 60%, and then people convince one another, and we have a lot of discussion in our school to see the idea of the minority. And most of the time when you see the idea of the minority, you change your idea, your major idea, that it's fixed to more people. But the main idea is to listen. We are in our school, democratic school, we listen a lot for one another.
Understood, sir. Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
We move forward to the next question. We actually have quite a lot of questions coming in today. So Narendra Bayana is asking, how to coordinate and control this in a learning-based method?
Learning, sorry?
How to coordinate and control this in a learning-based method?
Learning-based method. I will tell you how it's working in most of the democratic school. We have some methods that it's working. In Hadera school, my school, it's quite easy. We make a timetable, and in this timetable, everyone can put lessons. So teacher can put their lessons, and also student can put the lessons. If parents want to put the lessons, they also can put the lessons. So in every hour you have every student have a lot of choices to choose what he want to do. And also, if he doesn't want to go at lessons at all, he doesn't need to go to lessons. He can learn by himself in the library or in the football yard. So everyone choose what he want to do. And the major things that everyone have a mentor, and the mentor sit with the student and they think together what is the best learning plan that can be to him. Most of the time also the parents involved, so it's like the mentor, the parents and the children sit together and decide what it will be their learning plan. It's very important to understand that in the end who make the decision is the student, not the parents or the mentor.
All right, sir. Thank you. We have a question by Yasmin Liaquat Sultana. Sorry, it's a feedback which says that the session was quite illustrative and amazing. And we have a question by Dr. Sartarika Roy Bhatia, who wants to understand how the assessment structure works.
The assessment is when I go to do something, I write what is my goal and how I want to check it. So it can be I want to now make a project, or I'm running a trip and I want that the people after the trip, they will say that it was a good trip and what it's meaning to make a good trip. This is one way of assessment, that I say what it need to be in the, what is my goal to achieve in what I'm organized. Or it can be learning mathematics. So I want to learn mathematics and achieve this in this level, and the assessment is how I am achieve what the goal that I say that I will achieve. I do it by what I say, what I think, the mentor say what you think. If I want, I can go and take some of my peers that learn with me mathematics, and they will say what they think. So it will become like you get feedback from yourself, from the mentor, and from your peer.
Understood, sir. We have one more question, quite similar to the previous one. It is asked by Selva Salvage. So the question goes like, do you have to meet any state requirements, or is it 100% free curriculum?
Yeah, we are a state school, and we have the state curriculum in our school, but the student can choose if they want to learn it. And this is the agreement between us and the government. So every school must to suggest the curriculum of the states, but the states also agree that it's very important that the children will choose. So it's combination between this situation. Today, we don't have a lot of countries in the world that agree with this. In Israel, it's recognized, and now we are also in Denmark and in New Zealand. It's quite okay, but now we are talking about agreement with the South Korea government and Japan government. So we work in different. In all Europe, we work today with the Department of Education to that they agree to get permission to build democratic schools. As a state school, as a private school, they agree.
All right. So we have the next question from Kavita Anand asking, the democracy sometimes becomes good for those who are majority. What about those who are in a minority? Do they just have to accept the decision of the majority, or how else do we work through it?
Yeah, sure. If we make rule and I am in the minority, I need to do this rule. But as a community, we all the time touch and talk with the minorities and see what's a new suggestion they can bring that more people agree with them. But we really believe, this is our basic belief, to go forward, we need to listen to the minorities.
Understood, sir. So Deepa Dogra is asking, what is the shift from teaching-based methods to the learning-based school? And the question, okay, so that's a comment. And the question is, what resources are used to select the content, and how democratic is the choice of this content? Is there a national curriculum that binds the schools?
I will answer it in a two level. One in a traditional school, because I work a lot in traditional school, and traditional school can be teaching based or learning based. For example, I want to learn this in this level in class 5 in every school. Okay, I want to learn from this point to this point. I can do it teaching based, so it will be lessons, and every lessons every student need to come and listen to the teacher, and that's the reason it's the teaching base. Another way is to tell the student, you need to, now you are here in mathematics, you need to be in the end of the year here. So now tell me where you want to learn. You want to learn in the computer, in Khan Academy? You want to learn with your grandmother? You want to learn it's by your peer? You want to learn it by yourself? So you can, in this teaching base, it's only with teachers. Here, it can be that you choose with whom you learn and when you learn. So teaching base or learning base can be also in traditional school. The idea that in learning base, you trust the student and you teach them the idea of responsibility. Here, you don't trust the student. So you teach them to do what people tell him to do. And this is, from our point of view, something very dangerous to democracy. We need to bring every child to believe that he can do everything that he wants. And he doesn't need to do all the time what people tell him to do. He needs to think what he thinks he needs to do. And that's something very, very important.
Thank you, sir. I think that was very nicely put, how you gave us the way out and around it. And now we have a question by Yasmin Liaquat Sultana, which asks, how do you strategize discipline, respecting each other and their opinions, sharing and caring, and such values in a democratic school?
We are talking now about the student?
Yes, sir.
So, in democratic school, we have a lot of the way of learning. One, it's what I told you, that I choose the lessons. And in the lessons, it can be a lessons of a teacher or student. Also, student can be a teachers. Or we can learn as a peer learning. But another way of method that it's very, very important is what we call deep learning, that you can choose what you want to learn. And if you go deep for example, you can choose how it's make these shirts, or how it's what doing these glasses. And if you go to learn it about the glasses, in 1 millimeter, if you go deep, you will find the English. And you need to read the English. And then you need to deal with mathematics. So the idea is that the major things that we do in democratic education is to learn how to learn. This is the most important. If in traditional school it's very important to know, I don't know, mathematics, English, or other subject, in our way of looking of education, the most important thing that it's important is the way of how to learn. And your belief that you can learn everything that you want. And that's something very, very, I don't know if I answered the question, but that's the place that the answer take me.
Understood, sir. So Hema Devarajan would like to pick your brain for some more insight on collaborative learning. So could you share a little bit more about collaborative learning?
Yeah, it's we use a lot of collaborative learning. The idea that we do a lot of peer learning. It's that the group build a goal together, and everyone have a different role in the group, and together they achieve the goal. This is one of the central way of learning in democratic education.
All right, sir. Thank you for that. So Narendra Bayan is asking, what are your strategies to train the teachers for democratic learning?
I also build a teacher training in Israel College of Teacher Training, and the major idea is to live democratic education. So also the teacher training college, they are very undemocratic. And so they build like an old factory or the old school. We build our teacher training a place that the students also decide about their goals, try to achieve their goals, working as a team, working as a group together. And that's, so the major things to be a teacher in democratic education is to live it in your personal life. And if it's in a teacher training college, of course, let's do it in the same thing that we expect that it will be at school.
Thank you, sir. So we have another question from Selva Salvage. It's more like a clarification. So because it's a state-funded school, all the families have free access to it. Is that correct?
It depends where in the world. Some places in the world, it's by the states and it's free totally. Some other places, it's private and it's all by families. And some places it's private. So it's exactly like traditional school that you can find private, common, and state. That's also the three options that you can find in democratic education. I prefer state school because I think when we talk about democratic, we are talking about human rights. And one of the base of human rights is that education will be free to everyone. And that's we try to do.
Thank you, sir. So there's a question by Meera Subramaniam, which wants to understanding the democratic education for teachers. So the question goes like, do the teachers also teach each one of their professional development?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. I think that's quite interesting. Would love to be in such a session someday, hopefully. Dr. Sagarika Roy Bhatia is asking, what is the assessment pattern like?
Say it again.
Yes. Dr. Sagarika is asking, what is the assessment pattern?
I talk about the assessment.
Yes.
I will say that in the end of the 12th year, most of our students go to the traditional assessment of the country, and most, not all of them, because this is not our goal that they will go, but most of them go to the national assessment, and we are quite successful, but it's not the goal of our school. The goal of our school is that people will respect one another. This is the most important thing that exists. And the second thing is that they will be independent. They can do what they believe that they want to do. And that's our goal. But a lot of our students decide to make the national assessment, and they success.
Yes, sir. So I believe she was just wanting to explore the frequency of the assessment. So is it a schedule set, let's say on a biannual basis or on a weekly basis, or is it more free flowing as per the curriculum that you had decided?
Inside the school is about the curriculum that he decide. When they go to assessment outside, we also, in the last year, we prepare them to make the assessment of the government, and they learn how to do it.
All right.
When you know how to learn, it's quite easy to do the assessment of the government.
Absolutely.
The idea is, our major idea is to teach you to do what you want to do. So if you want to do the general assessment, learn it and do it.
Absolutely on board with it, sir. So that was the last question of today's evening, and you do have a lot of feedback in terms of how amazing and phenomenal your sessions were. It was quite inspiring, and Hema Devarajan is actually referring to you as the modern day AF Neil. So that I think says quite a lot. It was, even I personally felt that it was definitely an invigorating, enriching session for a lot of us. In some cases, it was eye-opener. In some cases, it touched our heart at very key points, and definitely it tickled all of our minds today. So thank you so much for joining us today, sharing so many insights. And I think all of us would love to keep just hearing you for times to come, and obviously at least try and attempt to apply whatever you have been teaching us and explaining to us so vividly. Thank you so much for inspiring us and giving us a chance to explore democratic education with you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. And see you.
Thank you, sir.
Soon. Bye-bye.
Hope so. Lots of appreciation from India, and thank you for participants for being so engaged in today's session. Definitely, we had a lot of takeaways for all of us today, and we all learned from not only the speaker, but hopefully from each other as well today, as democratic education teaches us to do. Thank you. Have a very great evening. We'll see you tomorrow.